Hey everybody, before we get on with the traditional show, I just want to let you guys know that One More Podcast is sponsored by Haven Cottage Investments and Sabrina Parker, a licensed Texas realtor. Sabrina Parker has in-depth experience with real estate investments, such as making a quick profit through flipping, or getting a steady monthly income through rental properties. If you mention our podcast to her, you'll receive half off her commission rate for your next purchase or sale of your personal or investment home. Contact her today at 469-450-8855 or havencottageinvestments@gmail.com. Again, that's 469-450-8855 or havencottageinvestments@gmail.com. And now it's time for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, and welcome back again, everybody, to the One More Podcast. Today's been kind of a weird day because it was raining really hard, and it was the first time it was raining in a while, and then we decided to, for an hour, just play music and see if we can guess the music, and literally we did that for like 55 minutes almost, and it was just screaming, yelling,
and got nothing.
And the moral of that whole hour was, guys, I don't know.
I came away knowing how little I know about my three favorite bands.
Your favorite bands.
How little we know about the titles, we know the lyrics. So
that's very true. We kind of got put in our place a lot, and
Tom Petty would be disappointed.
I feel like for you, Tom Petty, you got I think 14 out of the 15 songs on his greatest hits.
I think I missed 3,
maybe 3. I'd say 2. We'll give you 2 just to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we're back, and I have a splitting headache. I took some Tylenol, but I still have a huge headache. So we're going to play.
You should take some aspirin.
That's the same thing. Tylenol and aspirin. Okay, actually, aside, screw that. What is the difference between Tylenol and aspirin?
Are you serious?
Brand?
No, one of them is Tylenol doesn't kill your brain. All right. Sorry. Tylenol actually might affect your brain tissue.
What?
Aspirin doesn't. Aspirin's from a fucking leaf.
What?
Okay?
Tylenol doesn't kill your brain.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Then why'd they make that?
In high doses, it does.
Then why'd they make that joke on Scrubs where Dr. Cox or the intern or something was like, Dr. Cox, how many milligrams of Tylenol should I give them? And then Dr. Cox is like, okay, well, sweetie, open their mouth, grab a handful of Tylenol, throw it at them, and whatever lands, that's how much you give them. So
because he's an asshole.
If Tylenol kills you, then obviously he wouldn't want to do that.
You remember the Louis C.K. bit where he goes to the doctor and his ankle is hurting, and so the doctor just says, "Well, you can take a leave. Just take 10 Aleve a day. It'll be fine." He's like, "You said take 10 Aleve a day." Yeah. And so I said, won't that cause some damage over time? So, oh yeah, it'll definitely cause some intentional damage over time, but you got to weigh that from how bad your ankle hurts. What if I was an athlete? You're not an athlete, so fuck you to whatever you were about to say.
I forget if it was in the same bit or he was just like, yeah, that happens. Yeah, it's like I've got back pain or something. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, you're just old.
Thanks, doc. Medical professional experience. Yeah,
wasn't that what he said about his grandma? His grandma went blind in the nursing home or whatever, and so the doctor comes over and everyone's like, what was wrong? And the doctor goes, she's probably got a fucking tumor behind her head. This is a doctor.
He's just going, fucking tumor.
A fucking tumor in her head.
It's a paid professional. But yeah, no, I've actually never taken aspirin because you can be allergic to aspirin, right? Or is it allergic to Tylenol?
Tylenol.
I thought you
both.
I don't know. Can you be allergic to both?
Yes.
I don't know.
But okay.
All right.
Does Tylenol have aspirin in it?
You want to talk about this? When my mom was a kid, only the weird kids had aspirin. Or, oh my god, only the weird kids had allergies. Now pretty much everyone across the board.
What does allergies have to do with anything?
Everyone across the board does.
We're getting weaker as a species.
We're getting weaker as a fucking species.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're the only species that saves the weak. Think about that.
We are.
That saves the weak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our medical practices make it so we save people that should have died off.
Well, okay. I thought you were talking about okay, real quick, we'll get on that. But I thought you were talking about days of the week, and I was like, saves days of the what? You just let's save the first week in October, everybody. No, but okay.
GoFundMe.
But honestly, I thought yes, medicine is to extend the life, but I mean, isn't that also generally to take medication when you're in your 30s and 40s, and then that'll help kind of keep you alive longer, so that when technically you'd be 70, you can be like 70 at 100 or whatever, and so you'll be younger, and so by the time you hit 50 and 60, you'll see less body breakdown and everything like that. Or
I don't know, my whole family just drinks and eats like shit, so
you're just gonna die either way.
it's the plan.
I mean, I don't know.
Gotta plan ahead.
I've always subscribed to the I'm gonna live forever, and I just because I read an article somewhere where it was like not a large percentage, but a chunk of people who end up dying, it's not necessarily due to body failure or yes, it is body failure, but it's not because of old age.
It's because of
malnutrition.
Oh,
they decide to not eat, and they say, I want to die, and then they refuse medication, and they refuse food, and then their body shuts down because they're not getting any of the nutrition. So, and I'm not going to say it's like 97% of old people die because they're hungry, but like, you know, it's
a significant amount.
Right.
They
so
lost the will to live.
Right. Exactly. And so as long as you're,
that's what dogs do.
Yeah.
Is that what they do? They just, oh, well, I know they kind of find a place and then just die. Is that?
Well, I mean, like, did you ever read Where the Red Fern Grows?
No, I didn't.
No?
Was that like a school reading? Or
yeah, it's like this young boy in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas, and he finds he buys two bloodhound
Aaron, why
puppies.
do you keep moving the table?
Because we keep moving the table.
I'm
moving it back.
You're okay. All right, go ahead.
He buys two bloodhound puppies, and they grow up, and he trains them, and then, spoiler alert if you haven't read the book or anything, but one of them gets attacked by a cougar. I think Old Dan and Little Ann were the names, and Old Dan died, and then Little Ann just didn't eat, and because she would always eat with Old Dan,
right? So
the dog ended up dying. Both.
Wow, that's a really sad book.
It was great.
When did you read it?
Middle school.
Wow,
that was really good.
That's a heavy book for a middle schooler.
It was really good.
I don't think,
dude. I read Elie Wiesel's Night.
Mm-hmm. That was middle school too.
I didn't read that. I think.
Do you know what it's about?
It's about Jews. I know.
Yeah, it's about the Holocaust. It's about him and his dad in the concentration camp.
Yeah. I think
Auschwitz, right?
The only book, I don't know if it was specifically Auschwitz, but
I think it was a major one.
The only book that I remember reading is Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah.
And that was the only one that like I was like, oh no, Midsummer Night's Dream and Fahrenheit 451. Those are the only books /
Crystal Noct.
No.
Weren't you in Pace?
I was in Pace. I had
you were in Pace
Miss
longer
Schroeder or something.
You were in Pace longer than I was.
Okay, if we read that in middle school, I don't remember.
What's Pace?
It's like accelerated English.
Yeah, it's like honors kids? Or whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean,
like Leap.
Sure. I mean, is that what you had in your world?
Yeah, it was like, it was Leap or
the thing is with Pace, it wasn't necessarily for the smarter kids. It was just you took a placement test, and so you if you didn't take it, you can still be in like honors English or regular English.
But you weren't in advanced, like accelerated.
I don't know if it was accelerated per se. I think they just
accelerated.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It was an ego boost too.
I'm sure it was. I mean, I didn't really.
I was in Leap.
There was a bunch of idiots in Pace, so I wasn't necessarily in ego. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who weren't in Pace or who were in Pace didn't necessarily need to be in Pace. I don't know. I think you just focused on certain areas and was like, oh, we're gonna be. I think it was we're gonna talk about darker themes and more heavy topics. So that was actually in my middle school was when I saw I forget. It's not A Beautiful Life. What is it?
With Kevin Spacey?
No, not no.
A Beautiful Mind.
A Beautiful Mind.
That's
with Russell
Life
Crowe.
is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. Yeah.
We watched that together, didn't we?
Yeah, I showed you that movie.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I still have it. Yeah, so that was the movie where we saw that, and I think
he won Best Actor for that. The Italian dude, the dad.
You would know. You're out of everyone.
No, I love that movie.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
So
I was surprised because you told me about what the movie was about.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's going to be a fucking downer. Let's just watch Schindler's List right afterwards. And then it turned out to be like this happy, jolly movie about a dad and his son in the concentration camp.
But then it got sad at the end. But yes, that's what happened.
But he got back to his mom. That's
true.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I forget why we went on to the reading. Oh, books. So yeah, I don't remember. I just remember the books that I read in high school. That was about
where the red. Oh, we went from
we were talking
pharmaceuticals and old people wanting to lose the will to live.
And then animals.
And then allergies, and like why?
Okay, real quick, allergies. I have allergies. Does that make me weak?
I don't know, but when my mom was a kid, only the weird kids had allergies. I mean, only
What does that mean?
I don't talk about
Like, what kind of allergies are you
people
talking
that
about?
wouldn't go outside.
Peanut
had
butter allergies.
Well, like, I think a lot of people actually have peanut butter
I know.
allergies.
So either we weren't knowledgeable about allergies yet, or they literally just popped out of nowhere.
Well, I mean,
And then I'm like 3 generations.
well, I think it.
Mutation.
Well, I don't think necessarily that. I think it's just the medical equipment that we had and the technology to be able to detect that kind of stuff. So, because I don't know. I mean, whenever the trees make love, that's when I get sick, and like I don't know. I've been having like running noses all week, and I don't know. It's weird because generally, I forget what season are we going into? Winter?
We're about to be in fall.
We
We
are
are
in fall.
We are in fall.
Or no, because I thought fall starts like mid-October. Like in
thought-
Texas fall.
I usually say Christopher Columbus Day is when fall is.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
we're
in
about to
August.
be-
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
How it shouldn't
in
be a fucking
September.
holiday?
What, the Christopher Columbus? I mean, I'm okay with it being a holiday.
It's completely based on a lie. Everything about that account was a lie.
What, the just discovering America or whatever?
Yeah, okay. He didn't discover America.
Right.
Didn't discover
He
before.
accidentally.
He
discovered
didn't
North
prove.
America.
He didn't prove the Earth was round either. That was already
That was-
established.
wasn't that
Who
Magellan?
did that? Who's Magellan?
Magellan.
I don't know who Magellan is.
So-
I don't-
Anyway.
Okay, Blake, way to just say a
Cartographer,
name
it's
and.
a cartographer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. In what century?
do this.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. No, but like.
we have phones.
Well, no. I mean, I thought the biggest issue with that was she just mass genocide of Native
Yeah,
Americans.
completely mass genocide.
Yeah, but, like,
of
who-
the Caribbean people? Like,
Okay, well, but like, how do you think Europe was conquered? There was probably natives there, and there was
Yeah.
mass genocide there. And it was
no,
really
there's still genocides in Europe.
well. There's genocides everywhere, especially in like Africa, but that's not the point. We're still in the 1600s or whatever, or actually no, 1400s.
1492
Four-
is when Magellan-
Yep.
You see-
1492.
buddy, when
Christopher
Magellan
Columbus
discovered-
sailed. Damn it.
Magellan was way before that.
No, I always say like 1892, just because I never heard that before, and I heard it in high school for the first time.
Oh,
was
really?
Yeah, I had never used that for as a reference, but
We had to learn his 3 ships.
the Mayflower,
No.
The Pinta,
the
the
Pina Colada.
Pinta, the
penis?
Carnita, and the Santa Maria or something.
Oh, really?
The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Oh, okay.
That was his 3 ships.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Speaking of, do you get what language you guys take in high school?
Spanish.
Espanol.
Really?
Espanol.
Hi. They had like
Por qué
French.
no?
Did you have French at your high
Yeah,
schools?
we had Spanish and French.
No.
Oh, really?
Well, they
IB
had French, but no one took it.
Yeah,
Oh.
IB required either French or Spanish. I'm like, I live in Texas. I'm taking Spanish.
Yeah, but like, how much of that Spanish do you know now?
Un poquito. Un medio.
Oh, yeah?
Un medio.
Oh yeah.
Medio.
So you guys talk in Spanish the rest of the time then,
Simón.
and
okay.
respond to me in Spanish.
Okay.
And I can speak English because I'm
Sí,
not
que
trying to.
español de México y España y Guatemala.
Don't they
y
teach?
Honduras.
Don't they
difference
teach?
Es regular
Español?
España, sí.
Don't they speak
Pero en la
Spain?
cocina, para mi trabajo, yo
Right.
solo hablo en español
Mexican
para
Spanish.
México,
España
sí.
is the
Yeah. No, but they teach you.
English.
They teach you Spain English.
Spain
like
English,
right.
right.
I actually
I thought it was
understood what you
Mexican
said.
Spanish.
You were talking about being at work, talking dirty Mexican. I'm just kidding. That's super offensive.
I thought it was Mexican Spanish where we were. So.
Really? In Plano?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But like, I know a Puerto Rican family, and they were telling me that the Mexican Spanish is all sorts of whack. Like,
Yeah.
it's all not like say slurs, but like it's all kind of jumbled, and they
Dude,
make up their own
Puerto
words
Rican
and stuff.
Spanish
It's-
is like mostly the
I don't
same,
know
too.
that. I mean,
There's-
what is the true official Spanish? I don't know.
I mean,
Spain,
okay, what we
where
think
the
about it,
language originated.
where they okay, the people that weren't conquered,
Speaking of the mic, sweetie,
the people that weren't conquered are probably the ones that were speaking correctly. The ones that were conquered were probably the more vulgar, which
more
is
into
more,
the mic, sweetie.
which is the reason why people didn't like Italian and French at the time, because it was vulgar Latin.
Yeah.
We're talking about vulgar Spanish now too.
Look at rednecks.
Yeah,
There you
What
go.
about-
Rednecks
what
are
about
rednecks are
proper
Ebonics.
English.
It's not proper English,
not.
but it's
Well,
just.
I
It's
still
I think it's a
English.
cultural thing, if anything.
hold on, but because with rednecks, I think it's the accent. I think it's the accent that gets it. Or do
No,
they?
we don't talk right.
Well, I mean, I feel like maybe if you go like deep
That's
south.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
The only
Deep,
thing
deep
is they,
south.
but like,
the-
where does the breakdown though? Like, is it just they want shorter
Education.
sentences? Oh, do you think it's an education thing? I think it's just you're out
It's
in
a-
the field and you're just like,
you don't give a shit.
I guess I don't know where does that breakdown start?
I don't know.
the
I don't know.
language.
Yeah,
I think
guess.
at some point, okay, Here's my theory.
Into the mic,
There's
sweetie.
There are certain types of students in class, ones that give a shit, people that don't, and then people that are forced to be there.
Right.
So it's
Wait, there's 3 types of people?
at some point.
Well, you
there's
listed
gonna
3
be-
types of
shut
people.
up. There's going to be a difference in how they speak eventually.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a cultural thing.
It's
so
cult-
the family that you come
Yeah,
from.
but the South, do you really consider that a culture, though?
Yes.
I think it's just a
culture.
region.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
it's a
there's southern
culture.
food, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not like okay. I guess
It's-
I know. I
it's a
guess that
Southern
makes sense.
culture.
No, you're right. I guess I always think I don't know. I feel like the culture that I view is not necessarily Southern. It's just kind of like I see more East West Coast. That's I don't really see when I think more of like cultural foods and stuff like that. It's just I don't know.
Well, here's
I don't know.
that's kind of where that breaks down though, because if you look directly to the east of South Carolina, you get Los Angeles and the Southern California.
You mean West?
Well, I'm saying looking east of Southern California,
Right.
East of Southern California, you've got South Carolina and Georgia,
Right.
And so those are completely different. So there has to be something about that region that makes it different. It's not an east-west thing. There's certain cultural.
Well, okay.
regions
Well, then
across the United States.
what state? And we're like getting into geography, which is I'm horrible at. But what state is the south? Is the start of the South? Do you think?
I would say West Virginia.
I actually just saw the original South is like of the 13 colonies, so that's the South.
Well, wasn't
then
like
then you have the Southwest.
Well, the
which is where
13
we're-
colonies.
wasn't Rhode
were
Island a 13 colony?
Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
They're not the
No,
South.
that's not the South though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not the 13
No,
colonies.
no, we're talking about the southern states of the 13 colonies. Is the
Right.
is
So the
original
Virginias,
South.
Georgia,
the
and the
Southwest.
Carolinas.
So we have the Southwest. and the
Aaron,
South.
into the mic. I know you like to look at people, but it's
Okay.
not going to pick you up. I mean,
Alright.
it's just you're going to hear. Woo, 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 woo.
We've got the South,
Yes.
like the original 13 colonies. Then we also have the Southwest, which is more Texas and Louisiana.
I don't really consider us Southwest. I
We
consider
are,
us
though.
more
We
central.
technically are because
We're just central.
then Texas.
I
has
think
its
we're
own,
just Texas.
Texas has its own deal going because it's like
Yeah, well, what
we
about
have so
Oklahoma?
many mixing cultures and immigrants.
Do you know why we have that?
Because it's a cultural hub. We have so
No
much.
No.
business
We have
tax,
so many open
no state
jobs
income
here.
tax.
No state
Yeah,
income
okay,
tax
yeah.
and cheap land. That's why.
Yep.
That's why we're drawn. Because why would someone want to go to a place that's racist and full of
Whoa,
buttholes?
Whoa, buddy. We're
Yeah.
not all racist.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, Texas is full of buttholes.
Really? Yeah. But
So is like North Dakota. So is everyone's.
Okay, so everyone's racist and buttholes.
No, I'm saying every state is filled with buttholes.
You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
you're
Not
not wrong.
Thank you.
Technically
Everyone
That's
has
what
a
I'm trying
butthole.
to get at. Is
everyone has a butthole, buddy.
there was real quick. I'm sorry, we're total tangent. There's when I was working at Chick-fil-A, there was a manager, and he was like, excuses are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and they all stink. And I'm just like, yeah, you got me. You got me.
You're not wrong.
You're definitely not wrong. But so do you consider Oklahoma South?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
What about Nevada? No, not Nevada. What's on top of it?
Kansas.
Kansas is on
That's
do you-
Midwest.
is-
What?
Okay, so Kansas is when we're in the Midwest area.
Right.
That's so weird. I say Texas. The United States is just how you break it up.
I look at flyover states as mid-country. So
What do you mean by flyover? Like
So
you
people
wouldn't.
go
That's
from
not a
New York,
destination
Places
Yeah,
point.
you
people-
don't go.
people go from New York to California, or
Yeah.
California to Texas, or
Uh-huh.
DC to Seattle.
Okay.
Those flyover states are considered like Midwest.
Well, then what about? So you'd consider like New Mexico and Arizona?
No, that's Southwest.
Okay. I guess.
New
I guess
Mexico
Texas
is one of those places.
Aaron, are you
where-
looking up a map?
No, I'm not. New Mexico is one of those places where you really not New Mexico. Arizona is just so fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like
That
my
is
grandparents were out there. I thought Texas was hot until I went there,
Nah.
and there's no fucking point to be there either.
But also,
it's literally a desert.
Yeah.
Not like a little bit because like a part of Texas is desert.
yeah,
It's all fucking desert. All right.
That's why people are
There's no
cranky there.
fucking reason.
yeah. But the Arizona is like hot and dry, whereas
Right.
Texas is like
It's got
No,
Texas.
it's completely
Texas
dry.
is gross.
Texas, well, yeah. If you go to Houston, it's gross.
Yeah,
But, I mean, Dallas only has like 3 months where it's like,
that's true.
man, this place sucks. And then, and that's usually August or June, July, August.
Yeah, that's true.
And then after that, we're in pretty damn good territory in terms of weather.
For the most part.
Our winters aren't that cold.
Yeah, but you see, I don't know, and I guess that's just me wanting. I don't know. I can appreciate more for cold than what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that means I should just move and leave
to the
Texas.
Just go to Colorado.
It's so weird to think that like people in this world have just been in a single location for their entire lives, and people will grow up and live in here. And I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or any fault to their own, but there are going to be I can't talk. There are going to be people where they grow up, they're born in Texas, raised in Texas, stay in Texas, marry in Texas, have kids, and die in Texas. Same thing with Oklahoma. Same thing with Massachusetts. Same thing with just wherever. Just
that's what's visiting for. That's why you visit other states.
But I don't know. I mean, even then.
I know what you mean, because like I feel like I don't want to live in Texas my entire life.
Hey, Aaron, do you want to put the phone down and join us?
I am. I'm doing both.
Okay. But anyways, it's just it's very strange to me where it's this human nature where we decide to plant a flag and say this is our home.
It's when you decide the small enough is good enough. It's not like
I don't even think it's that. It's just it's how you're comfortable, and so
you get too comfortable with something that's below your means too quickly.
Not necessarily. I mean, people living in mansions and shit like that, they're just gonna stay there, even though they can own homes wherever. They're like, I'm gonna stay here, and it's
kind of a familial thing, though, especially with mansions.
Well, sure, but I mean, but I'm saying it's like what do I know? I know Frisco and Plano and Allen and now Richardson. And that's what I call home. And so how likely am I going to, 10 years from now get up and just move somewhere? Well, I don't know. I mean, and even then I'm planning on moving, and it's like, where am I moving? To Austin. And that's like that's still in Texas. So it's
okay. You're hitting home on something that's actually a little bit harder to explain because Texas is itself so big. If you were living the equivalent to you talking about Austin would be if you're living in Indiana, you want to go somewhere in Illinois.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, you have kind of a difference because Texas is so big. But
Texas has like a variety.
Yeah, look at
a variety of different places.
Look at Austin compared to Houston.
Yeah.
Or Houston compared to Dallas.
That's true.
Or El Paso compared to Lubbock.
Oh my God, El Paso is Mexico.
Or San Antonio compared to Dallas, or pick one.
Sure.
And
compare another two cities.
Beeville compared to
what the heck is a Beeville? What is a Beeville?
Beelessville.
Fine, San Jacinto.
No, but explain
Beeville
what a Beeville
is where my dad grew up.
Oh, really?
South Texas, yeah.
Like how South Texas? Like
past 20 miles from the border south.
Oh wow. Okay, so I don't know any other. I'm trying to think of other cities that are near
El Paso.
El Paso is like
it's close to Brownsville,
west. Right? Am I right? El Paso is
yeah,
west.
No, Beeville is by the Gulf, not El Paso.
Oh,
right. Okay. But it's like 20 miles south from Mexico, though. Okay.
North. Yeah.
What did I say?
South
of Mexico.
No.
Right, Mexico is 20 miles south.
Texas is north of Mexico.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Next topic.
Right, Mexico is north of Texas, right?
No.
What do you mean?
Mexico is not north of Texas.
Yes, it is. Blake, I promise you, if you drive
Were
just
you really
up,
that bad?
Blake, if you drive,
at some point, I will hit Mexico.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
So, thank you.
I apologize. That's on me.
Mexico is like 3 million
You're
miles
here
north.
first, folks.
Right here first. But still, though, like, do you have any intention of moving from Texas?
No.
I mean, do you have intentions of visiting other places?
Sure.
Like what?
Well, my buddy of mine, we have a goal to see every MLB stadium and see a game there.
Oh, okay.
And so last summer we knocked out Baltimore and DC. And
yes?
we visited Baltimore and DC.
I think I remember you talking about the DC one at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do other countries do baseball, or is that just American?
Japan.
Oh,
well,
okay.
yeah. If you watch the World Baseball Classic, France has a team.
Really?
Italy has a team.
Are they any good?
Sure. Yeah, there are some Italian players that I can't name them off the top of my head, but there's got to be at least a couple from each country that's come here.
Like
Canada has a team. Japan has one of the best teams.
Really?
South Korea has a team. All of the
What about
Latin countries
North
have
Korea?
a team.
Really?
Because baseball is now dominated by Latin players. They're now the best players in the game.
That's true. I know Dominicans are really good baseball
Dominicans,
players.
Venezuelans are huge now, especially now since the whole Venezuela thing.
And the whole travel ban, too.
Sure.
Venezuela's on the travel ban now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They're
Dude,
travel
we're
ban
just-
3.0. I believe North Korea obviously has been added, and Venezuela's been added, and I'm pretty sure Iraq is off, but I don't know if that was taken off on 2.0 or 3.0. So,
But yeah, all Latin countries are now dominated by
Okay,
baseball.
so this just tells me flat out that this is gonna be obvious, but like the whole racial bans and sports were just stupid.
what do you mean?
Like we were just talking about this in government too.
What racial bans?
Like the best players are Latino, or even like
Some of them.
African.
What do you mean? But what do you mean a ban though? There are bans.
They were like Negro League, White League.
Sure.
Well, like back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant now. I was
No,
like,
not
I don't know
now.
what you're talking. What bans are you
I'm
talking
just
about?
saying, like the competition would have been.
Well, I don't think it was. I think that was just because of racism. It
Yep.
wasn't necessarily who's better or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just whites wanted to play against whites, and they were like, okay, we'll just clump everyone else out. There was what was it? It was what his name? I want to say Barry Roberts, but I don't think that's even right.
Barry Bonds.
Not Barry Bonds. It was like the first African.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. Yeah, they
Jackie
made a movie that was like
42.
42. I was thinking of a number, but I was going to say 12. And then I was like, no, you idiot. That's 12 years a slave. But yeah, that was actually a really good movie. I like that. Did you?
I definitely
Okay.
saw it as a
Oh,
huge
yeah,
baseball
definitely,
fan.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my thing is though, if you look at the top players, like in terms of records,
Mhm.
Nolan Ryan, who was a white pitcher, still holds the record for most amount of strikeouts.
Wow.
Pete Rose, white guy, still holds the record for most amount of hits.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, most amount of Gold Gloves. I think was Mike Schmidt. I could be wrong.
Gold Gloves is about boxing?
No, Gold Glove is fielding.
Oh.
If you're the
Oh,
best,
we're still in
if you're the
baseball
best-
land.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you're the best defensive.
Sorry.
I'm talking baseball.
Sure.
And so Barry Bonds now has home runs, but that's being disputed just because of the
Sure.
whole steroid thing.
Right.
Mark McGuire, steroids, so I can't use him. I'm saying though, there were I can list off 20 great African American players that are or will be Hall of Famers.
Blake.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You want me to do it?
List them off.
Jackie Robinson is in. Willie Mays. Frank Thomas is going to be in.
Hank
Aaron. Yep. Let's see here. If Andrew McCutcheon keeps going the way he will be in. Derek Jeter is half, so he's going to be in. Black.
It's okay. You got them.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, you can't just make these,
Wait.
exclamatory statements and just say,
None of them are
without me.
exclamatory.
you're like 20 African.
Bob Gibson.
I can name 20 African Americans who would be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
This
if
is
you
the
give me
same
enough time, I can
conversation
knock
we
that
had
out.
about the songs earlier, all right?
Well, I mean, we're not going to blast. I don't think we can blast African Americans. Jackie Robinson! No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was trying to derail your train of thought.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
That's good.
You heard of
Yeah.
Pete Reeser?
Hmm?
Heard of Pete Reeser, the baseball player?
Maybe.
Or he's such a jackass. He would run backwards at full speed.
Is this like an actual
No,
baseball player?
This is my great uncle, my great cousin.
Was
whatever.
he just like
No,
in
he was like
the
a
minors
famous
Oh, he's
minor
famous.
player, or whatever. He
Was he
ran
famous
backwards.
or was he
Is it
minor?
Riesler or Reeson?
It's actually Riser because they spelled it wrong because everyone was
So
convinced
how do you spell it?
R-I or R-E-I instead of R-I-E-S-E-R.
Got it.
He he's one of the reasons why there's actually a dirt part around the diamond because he just,
Really?
he needed guidelines like, oh, I'm about to hit the wall because he was such a jackass.
I
No,
didn't
he
know
was. Oh, so the warning track, not
Yeah,
the.
the
Okay.
warning track.
that. Wow, I didn't know that. I got nobody famous in my family.
You don't know that. Have you done?
Yeah, I've done the
Family
family
tree?
like a long time ago, and I think if anything, my because I know. So the only thing I can say is that like I'm African because my
I mean,
mom's
yours, really.
my mom's family moved from North Africa to diaspora from North Africa to Israel.
Mhm.
And then I mean on my dad's side we're like Northern European there, but I got no one famous in my family history. I think maybe someone owned a lot of land at some point, but I don't want to
you're
say.
up.
Yeah, you're right. It starts here. The great, amazing podcaster of the 21st
Grandpappy
century.
Parker.
All right.
Hey, kids!
Evolve!
What's up?
So the research came over in the 1830s, which is like the
You
wave.
can just gonna keep bragging about your family.
Which was the wave of Jewish Germans coming over.
Sure.
So we're really wondering if we were Jewish before, but they since
What do you mean
became
you were wondering
Catholic.
before you were.
They since became Catholic, so we're not really sure.
That's not. Jews don't convert to Catholicism. They don't. Sorry. I can tell you right now. Mystery
Second, third
mystery
generation.
solved. Mystery solved.
Stubborn group.
The
They were
Jew-
stubborn.
The Jews don't convert to Catholicism. Jews will go Messianic Jews.
Are you sure?
but-
Because if you remember anything about the Spanish Inquisition, pretty much you converted or you died.
okay.
Or you-
Jews
How much
won't-
of the Spanish Inquisition took place in Israel?
None.
Not a lot.
Okay,
Not
so-
very much.
But yeah, no, Blake, do you have any famous relatives? Old Pappy.
No,
Old Pappy.
I got a couple of granddads that fought in World War II, so
Yeah.
they're famous for me
Oh,
there.
okay. I
but-
did have a great grandfather, I think, who fought in World War One, maybe.
And
I
then
think.
then my uncle's son, who just passed away, I think he was either in the military during Korea or
Oh wow.
they told him to go and he said no. I'm not really sure. But
Oh.
That is a big difference.
There was an interaction with the government about Korea.
well,
Okay.
just like my granddad was in the Navy during Vietnam, but
Sure.
he didn't go to
Didn't see
Vietnam,
any
so-
action.
So
Mm.
cool thing, my family.
God,
they
how
had-
many times are you gonna brag about your family?
We had someone on either side of World War One,
That's cool.
which is complicated because German side and American side, but
Sure.
you know, it's funny because he didn't want to fight for the Germans. He actually wanted. Actually, I might be confusing the wars. It was either World War II or World War One, where they wanted to.
Well, I feel like in World War II they'd force Germans to fight, whereas with World War One it was more of a patriotic cause.
Right. An
So
alliance issue.
Yeah,
Maybe
either way,
Right.
Pa Thumb immigrated after the war to America.
okay.
So
Yeah, again, I'm super jealous. I don't have any super fancy family members.
yeah, and
It's
he
cool.
was in a POW camp for a while.
Oh,
'cause
really?
He surrendered to the first English-speaking prisoner or English-speaking enemy he could find. He wanted it to be the Americans.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was the British. The British are not good at their POWs.
Maybe not then.
He,
Now you get tea and
I
crumpets.
was just about to say, you got a blanket, tea, crumpets.
no,
and-
but the funny thing was
And
he
a
was in there
corgi.
so long he got a spoon and sharpened it on a piece of wood and used it to start shaving.
Wow.
He was that dedicated.
His own little Shawshank.
Wait, he was that dedicated to hygiene and
Yep.
like looking good?
He didn't want to look like Tom Hanks in Castaway, I guess.
He really did.
Yo, that was a really good movie.
There was
though.
no
It
Wilson
was.
for him.
Except
No
the
Wilson.
trailer completely ruined the movie.
Did it really? I haven't.
Yeah,
seen
they
the trailer.
show him back at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they show him on the island in the trailer, and then they cut to him on the airplane like, well, does everyone think I'm dead?
Wow.
And I'm like, God damn it.
That's hilarious.
Not watching this.
Well, okay. That actually leads to a really good point. I especially now I think I've gotten okay with the fact of knowing endings. One, because I think, and I forget if we've talked about this, Blake, before, but the value of any type of movie, TV show, story, book, whatever is the value, I wholeheartedly believe it's the journey.
Yeah,
it's from
exactly.
beginning to end. Sure, the ending can add value to your overall experience, but if the ending is what make or breaks a good movie or a good book or whatever, I think it's bad.
Well, look at The Usual Suspects, where at the very end you find out Spacey
I don't
is
want
Kaiser's
to
son.
talk about the
Can
usual
I
suspects
ruin-
right now.
I'm gonna ruin a movie for you.
What?
Pay It Forward. Have you seen Pay It Forward?
No.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
Is that a religious movie?
great.
No,
it's
it was a movie about like this real life kid that started the Pay It Forward movement, where he just wanted to be a nice kid.
Fucking hate that.
No,
Okay.
it's
it was
Haley
a
Joel
really good
Osment,
movie.
so you
But
wouldn't-
No,
thing
the
is-
movie. No, I'm sure the movie was fun, but that pay it forward thing. It's such. I've had so many awkward experiences at Chick-fil-A there because
Or
someone
people pay for
yeah,
the person behind them. or
yeah,
whatever.
where they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we'll pay for it, and some people were super genuine and nice, and they're like, oh, the person who is behind me ordered $30. Sure, of course, whatever, that's fine. And then like the person is like, oh, it was paid for. Okay, cool, thanks, and they drive off, and I'm just like, wow, okay. And then there are some people who I've legitimately, I was in the drive-thru and someone was like ordered maybe just a single thing, and it was a young guy, so I'm guessing just a young, ho-hardy religious guy. And he was just like, I want to pay the people behind me. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, it's $50. And he was just like,
Oh,
fuck. I mean, I don't think he said fuck, but he paid it. And
wow.
yeah, and the family was a complete total, like, they didn't
Were they douches?
yeah, they were. They were like, "Oh, what? Why would someone pay her?" Like they were complaining and bitching and shit. They were
What?
they totally
Delete it. Delete the payment.
But yeah, no, I've had some awkward situations in that I mean, I'm sure the movie was
the
great.
movie was great, because, but the worst part, and you could have even skipped the last part.
What do you mean?
The ending was bad.
The kid
It's
got
like,
stabbed
he
by
gets
one
stabbed
of
by
the bullies.
one of. He's trying to pay
Well, like,
it forward.
Does it
His-
make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Like the
irony.
bullies,
Well, then-
bullies. It's ironic because the bullies have had the knife the entire movie, even though it's like they got a metal detector for the school.
Right.
How they got it in the first place is really fucking stupid. Is they put it under it and slid it across.
Well, hold on. Okay, so
It's
did
like-
it make sense to the ending, or
Kind of.
did the
Yeah,
ending
it
suck?
was a tragic.
Really-
No, it was supposed to be a tragic story of a
Okay.
kid trying to make the world a better place.
Sure.
and
and then gets killed.
then gets
Okay.
stabbed for it.
He's
Well, so is that a bad? I don't know the
it was a
context. I
shitty
mean,
ending.
I don't think that was a shitty ending. I thought it was a tragic send off. Then that was the point of the film.
Right.
If you're gonna look at an ending and say it sucks, you have to look at what the point of the film is.
Okay.
Right.
And so, was it what mood? What are the themes that it's trying to portray?
He never
Sure.
gets-
Go ahead.
Sorry, he never gets to have a dad now because he was about to have his
His
ex teacher.
Kevin Spacey was about to marry his mom.
Yeah.
wait,
and
Kevin Spacey was in this movie?
Yeah, it was
He's the teacher that gave him the idea.
God damn it! Now I have to fucking watch this movie.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Get some tissues.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to cry during
If you
movies.
want to see it for free, I've got it on.
No, I'll just
a link.
find it online
link
on
I have.
I bet it's on
Hulu or
from-
Netflix, or I'll just watch it on YouTube, or I'll just buy the damn movie. I'm sure
It's
it's,
a
only,
tearjerker. I can't.
I'm sure it's like $5.
I can't watch it with my mom
Uh-huh.
because I don't hear the last 10 minutes of the movie
Wow.
because my mom is just the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna turn around and say you were that the whole time.
No, I'm not. I'm not a big crier in movies.
Really?
On one hand, I
I
can.
mean,
probably count.
do you like tear up at least, or
Do
do you get that kind of overwhelming sensation? Like,
no, don't get me wrong.
inside?
I definitely feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
And I feel like it right there.
Yeah,
right on
yeah.
the chin. But no, I just
Empathy.
keep it in.
Okay.
empathy and sympathy.
But no, what I was gonna say with the usual suspects, yes, those types of plot twist movies, I think with the usually okay, plot twist movies, I think can either be really well done or real shit. Like there was a movie a while back that I saw, and it was like a horror movie or something like that, where this person keeps killing keeps killing people, and you see it from the perspective of this girl, and she's like, oh, who's killing people, blah 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 blah, and then it's like, ooh, plot twist, she was killing the people all along. She was fucked up and had
that's
schizophrenia or something like that.
dumb.
Yeah, it was stupid. But with the usual suspects, and we're not going to talk about it a lot because again, I want to talk about this on Monday. I think again, like I said, the chemistry between the actors are fantastic. I think the
Of
dialogue
course,
was
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
I think it was
the setup.
yes, very much so. It's just overall, I think if we never learned who Kaiser Soze was, I would have loved the movie. I would have loved it either way. Obviously, and I think that's what's amazing about those types of movies,
Okay.
where the ending and the payoff is just like that
It
extra that
It's a cherry on top.
it's the cherry on top. Exactly. Like I can have a full hearty milkshake or something like that. It's amazing. It tastes great. The whipped cream is amazing. But if I can get that cherry on top, it's even better. But if I don't have it, I still enjoyed a great milkshake.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, but we're done talking about it. So
Okay.
we'll talk about Kevin Spacey. I love Kevin Spacey. Can we talk about Kevin Spacey for a second?
Sure.
Kevin Spacey, freaking American Beauty is amazing.
Yep.
Love him in House of Cards.
Did you ever see L.A. Confidential?
I have not.
He's
What
really
is that
good in
about?
too. It's just a 40s or 50s crime movie with Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe and Kevin Spacey?
Uh-huh.
Are you serious?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
They're not really partners together because
Uh-huh.
it focuses on 3 cops in the LAPD,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is like this big brute that goes around and takes the law in his own hands kind of guy.
Yeah.
Another one is a kiss-ass sergeant that's just trying to move up in the police force. And then Kevin Spacey plays this police officer that's all about the media.
Uh-huh.
And so he'll get in cahoots with the newspaper and it's like, hey, I'm going to be here to arrest this person. Bring your cameras.
See, I love I love when movies kind of merge hemispheres and merge these worlds, because like even don't hate me, the movie with that you showed me with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon, The Departed, thank you. It's like, at least for me, I've never seen those guys in a movie together. So you'd have like Leonardo DiCaprio does his style movies, Matt Damon, sorry. Yeah, Matt Damon. Yeah, sorry. Never mind. Sorry. Mind fart. Yeah. Matt Damon does his own thing. Jack Nicholson, obviously, in his own fucking world.
Well, this is going to make you mad that Jack Nicholson was Scorsese's third choice to be in the movie.
Really? Who was his first choice? Kevin Spacey. Are you serious? Yep. Why did he say no?
Probably scheduling conflicts.
God
But
damn.
I'm glad that he didn't do that, though. Because I think no one could have done a better job than Jack Nicholson for that role. Like, have you seen Kevin Spacey as the mean mob boss? I couldn't really see that.
But, okay. Early, like 90s Kevin Spacey, I don't know if that was in his repertoire, but
after seeing House of Cards,
yes, being this corrupted politician,
right? But that wasn't that's a different character
than
it is Jack Nicholson's.
Sleazy, scummy.
He needed to be someone that you hated.
That's true. That's very true.
And you would walk in going, "Oh, Kevin Spacey!"
Oh, Kevin Spacey! No, you're right. No, you're very you've got me pegged. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think
don't get me wrong, Kevin Spacey can do it all.
Sure.
But I'm glad that movie he kind of skipped out on.
I don't know. I'd like to see an alternate reality. I'd like to see that. And then I get to decide whether or not which one is better, and then I'll stick with that reality.
All right. Have you ever heard the theory that Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle are in the same universe?
That is hilarious.
Isn't Bryan Cranston the dad in
No,
in the Middle? Yeah.
So, the end of Breaking Bad, he gets put in.
I haven't finished. I'm on season 5.
This is not a real spoiler.
Okay.
Well, you literally are saying at the end he gets put into
at the end of Breaking Bad. He gets put into like
he gets put into a thing,
witness protection program.
So he doesn't die. Aaron,
see, that's a huge spoiler.
This is not a real spoiler. This is the theory.
Yeah, but what happens in like when's the end? Season 7 is the last
season 5.
Can you please be quiet?
Oh, it's only 5 seasons? Yeah, so what if at the end of season 5 where he has a gun to his face and you're like, oh, is he going to die? Is he not going to die? Now he knows that he's going to go into witness protection.
But in witness protection, he's actually the family in Malcolm in the Middle, because that's why they don't get along, because they're all just random ass people funny. Put together in one place.
Oh, that actually kind of makes sense. That's kind of funny. But again, Blake, the ending has been spoiled for you. Have you not enjoyed the show, though?
I've loved it.
Yeah,
it's such a good movie.
So the ending proves to be just
I think that's different with a TV show, though, because you have long to develop and love these characters. You have 5 years versus an hour and 45 minutes.
You're right. I do agree. But again, I think if it's done well, then it could be great. If it's done mediocre, then I think you need the ending.
Breaking Bad was not done mediocrely, though.
No, I know Breaking Bad was amazing. I know it's top tier AMC.
Yeah.
Film.
Yeah,
movie,
top 10
TV.
Greatest TV shows of all time.
Is it really?
Probably. It's gotta be.
I would say.
Blake, pull out your list. What's your top 10 movies?
I made it 20 now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I got a new phone, but on there is, I'll just go top 10
Name
favorites.
the best ones that you can remember.
The Departed,
Yes.
No Country for Old Men,
Yes, that's a good
Saving Private Ryan.
one. Haven't seen that one.
You haven't?
No, I haven't. Because it was in the time where it was like rated R movies, and then like yeah.
Well, we'll watch that.
Sure.
It'll have to be. You'll have to clear your night schedule.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
It's a doozy.
Isn't it like? Because I remember they had like a huge,
directed it.
It's a huge like box set, like really long. Like,
it's regarded as the greatest war movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as that's veterans saying it, because when veterans would go see the movie, it was so realistic that they would have hotlines set up.
Wow.
For them to call. Yeah.
Well, hold on. So is it just a 3-hour movie or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
3.5 hours.
For some reason, I always thought that. Well, was there like a mini series or something about
Band of Brothers?
Band of Brothers. That's what I'm thinking.
And Tom Hanks was executive producer for that.
Band of Brothers.
And then they did another one called The Pacific. So Band of Brothers was all about this platoon in Europe during World War II.
Yeah.
And then The Pacific is obviously about a platoon of Marines.
Okay.
In the island.
Sure. Okay.
But Saving Private Ryan, Inglourious Bastards, Miracle, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Oh, you really picked Return of the King out of them?
Mhm.
I really like Two Towers.
Oh yeah, no. It for me, I love.
really
It's like
like
your
Two
favorite
Towers.
kid, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like Two Towers.
Okay, that's
Return of the King. No, honestly, Return of the King's really dope because it just has a lot of cool shit.
It
Yeah.
blends perfectly
But
together.
The Fellowship can be my retarded stepchild. But I don't.
The Fellowship was
It's-
Peter Jackson trying to
Yeah.
set up this universe.
No,
And
sure,
so-
of course, and I mean you have to have that, but
Right.
I don't. I definitely, it's like when I'm thinking I'll never watch just one. It's like, I'm gonna
You
watch
have to.
Lord of the Rings. Now
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
have
really
to spend
can't
14
watch.
hours of
No.
my whole fucking day
Yep.
just watching Lord of the
It's
Rings.
not the rinky-dink theoretical versions.
Oh no,
It's
extended
the
edition all the time.
That's it.
You can't because there's so much shit that like and it's just the movie to me. So if it's like if someone's like, oh hey, I'm watching the theatrical version.
And you're
What-
just like, what about this part?
What happened to here?
Yeah.
What about all this? What about the scene where Sam and Frodo are talking about their elven rope, and then they're in the Misty Mountains area, and then they drop down? That wasn't even. There was like a whole introductory scene moving into the Two Towers. I think those Two Towers.
The
Two Towers part.
when they were, yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like, what the fuck? So I don't know. So continue movies.
Oh, I got to put The Dark Knight on there.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn. Talladega Nights, Ballad of Ricky Bobby is on there for
Okay.
sure.
What does that mean, Aaron?
Huh?
Well, you don't like that movie?
I don't.
Why?
It's just not my type.
Why? You don't like Will Ferrell?
Well, I can take him in different strokes.
Like what? What Will Ferrell movies do you like?
I don't know if any I can actually
Really?
think off the top of my head. 'Cause I
Step
don't
Brothers,
know. Step Brothers was okay.
old school.
I haven't seen Step Brothers.
Really?
Yeah, my
That was-
stepbrother got really mad that I didn't see Step Brothers. Well, yeah. What about other Will Ferrell movies
Well, that's the thing. The Other Guys, I like The Other Guys. That was his first
with
movie.
Kevin Hart?
No, that was.
I thought that was the other
something
guys.
No, The Other Guys was
Kev-
him with. He was a cop with Mark Wahlberg in New York. Did you ever see that one?
Yes. Okay.
That one's funny.
Maybe I'm thinking Kevin Hart is Mark Wahlberg.
No, Kevin. He was in a movie with Kevin. Get Hard is the movie with he did.
Oh,
with Kevin
okay.
Hart, where he
No, but
tried to
was
get
there
out
a-
of prison or whatever?
Okay, so the other guys. Okay, no, was the scene where they jump off the they're on the top of the building and it's about to explode and they jump off of it? Is that the other guys?
All right.
No.
What's that one movie with Will
What?
Ferrell? Where
It's
he's
The
like-
Rock with Kevin Hart. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron. What?
Sorry. What's that one movie?
Why
with
are you
Will...
apologizing?
What
I'm the
is-
one interrupting
I
you
interrupted
all the time.
you too. Anyway, so what's that movie with Will Ferrell where he's like trying to be a senator or something?
Oh, The Campaign.
The campaign.
Campaign. That one was so fucking stupid.
I thought it was funny.
You know what's really good? Okay, hold on. Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up. It's on Netflix. It was like a serious Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, was it the movie where somebody's writing his life? That movie?
No.
Was it the one where he plays this guy in a motel or whatever?
No, he's currently in the process, I believe, of like divorcing his wife, and
Yikes.
he gets kicked out of the house, and so
Yeah.
he doesn't want to move any of his stuff, and so he has like, hold on, fuck, I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Just let me look it up, because if I don't know the name, I'm gonna kill myself. Let's see.
Oh, The Big Lebowski. That's on my top 10. Love that movie. Anything with Jeff Bridges, I'm in.
Oh, they took it. Damn, I think they took it off. But so pretty much I forget the name of the movie, but so it's Will Ferrell.
I'll find it.
Thank you. Will Ferrell divorced, and he gets kicked out of his house, and so like all of his shit's on the front yard,
Right.
and he's just it's this whole man versus self, and he's trying to get over this divorce and try and move on with his life. And how he does it is by having a yard sale. And so the cop, who is his friend, who's all part of this, they're like...
Everything Must Go.
Everything Must Go. Yes, thank you. And so the cop, he is his friend, and they're all part of like I don't know if it's AA or something like that, but they're all part of like a group together. And so he's saying like, look, it's illegal for you to just live on your front yard. So what we can do is technically, if you have a yard sale, you can have a yard sale up to like 5 days or something like that. So you've got till the weekend to get your shit together. So it's like from there till the weekend, you see this kind of story of this man trying to just get his life together. And
Was it good?
oh, it's fucking brilliant! Like
What was it called?
Everything must go.
Right.
For the second time, Aaron. See, Aaron doesn't listen to us. See, he's on his phone all the time, and he
I'm
says
writing
that he's
down
listening.
He's
what
writing
you're
down
saying.
movies.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's like as if, and I forget if you hate when I bring this up, but like serious Adam Sandler movies, it's just like it's great. Serious Steve Carell movies, it's
Serious Robin Williams movies.
That's
Serious
well,
Jim Carrey
okay.
movies.
Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. I think they're on a separate tier where they're really like there's shitty Adam Sandler movies and there's shitty Will Ferrell movies. I think there are bad Steve Carell movies, but like with Jim Carrey, I feel like for the most part, the most of his movies, most of his comedy movies were good, average to good. So when he's in a more serious role like The Truman Show or anything like that, it's like, okay, it's expected. Robin Williams, same thing, super expected for a great actor to be a great dramatic actor. It's still a surprise for Steve Carell when he does like The Big Short and
Or Foxcatcher.
Yeah, exactly. To be like, oh, Aaron, you're moving the table again. To be like, okay, it's surprising, but you can kind of be like, all right, the caliber. But with Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, you think, Adam Sandler has some good movies, but Reign Over Me, and I'm going to say it again, The Cobbler.
Right.
They're just like, wow, that
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Everything Must Go Again is a Will Ferrell, because I have no other idea of, I can't talk. I don't know any other Will Ferrell series movies.
There's one that I think it was called Stranger Than Fiction. And it's about there's this writer that's really famous for her books and whatever. Mm-hmm. And at some point she's going to kill off the main character. Yeah. Well, when she's writing his life.
Oh, really?
And so he's having to like he'll hear her voice narrate what he's doing, like, and now Will's brushing his teeth, and he'll just go, "Who said that?"
Is this the Truman Show?
No, Stranger Than Fiction.
And so the whole time she's like, and he gets hit by a bus, and it shows him get hit by a bus, and he's like, "No, that won't work." And she backspaces, and it's just really cool how he's trying to save his own life to try to get to this writer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I really hate when, and I don't know if this is just me, but I hate when actors are just pigeonholed, and I don't want to sound like some snotty, sophisticated, whatever movie critic, but I don't know. It's really, really nice, and it's like, honestly, the first time, because the first serious Steve Carell movie is, again, like I mentioned, The Big Short. When I saw him,
Foxcatcher was first.
Well, that I saw.
Oh,
like
okay.
I haven't seen the Foxcatcher, but I know of it. So, thank you for silencing your phone, Aaron.
You're welcome.
But seriously, it was just like, wow, this is awesome, and it makes me so happy to be able to see. And I don't know if it's just me geeking out because everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's just a Steve Carell movie. Congratulations. Oh, it's just a whatever.
No,
movie.
it wasn't just a Steve Carell movie.
Well, I know it wasn't just a Steve. It was
No, I'm not saying other actors. It was.
Oh, okay.
It was the dramatic role for Steve Carell.
That's true.
He was perfect for.
And fun fact, he was the fourth choice for it.
Who was first? Channing Tatum, Danny DeVito.
It was Danny DeVito.
Michael Cera.
Honestly, oh my god,
BoJack Horseman.
I love, dude. Will Arnett is great. Now that I actually fucking know his name after.
Yeah.
Who?
Spending-
Danny DeVito?
Yo, Danny DeVito is awesome. I love him in Always Sunny.
I'm actually in the middle of season 1 of It's Always Sunny, and
it gets better. It gets way better. Whenever they do Charlie McDaniel, great episodes. Great episodes. I don't know. I really, real quick, just because we're actually running low on time, we'll probably wrap this up. With Charlie Day and Danny DeVito together, any of their shenanigans is great. What was I going to say? I forget. I don't know. Oh, it's Michael Cera. You're going to say Michael Cera.
Yeah.
I want to see Juno. I haven't seen that.
It's good.
It's
good. It's got a weird, it's a weird, funky style. Mm-hmm. But it was really good.
Is anything like Scott Pilgrim?
No.
I've never seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but I heard
Scott
it was
Pilgrim
really
is it's a solid movie, but Scott Pilgrim is just, it's a kind of a video gamey 8-bitty homage. But Juno is a serious movie.
Yeah, Juno. Ellen Page came into her own in that movie, and so she grows up in this family that's quirky and weird, and so she's quirky and weird, and so the script has to be quirky and weird, and so. But it's funny and it's really good. Okay, I recommend that.
Well, dang, I'm glad that we can just talk about movies forever and ever. But
yeah, it was music. Now it's movies.
That's true. We're just, I don't know. We're trying to talk about like deep shit and just BS that happen in our lives, but we end up just talking about music and movies.
That's,
but I mean,
that's a sign, though. That's a crucial part of our culture as millennials, though.
Because
the entertainment that we're given, and
you
that
think
we're
so?
subjugated to, yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
what
do
you
you ever
think?
like try to distance yourself from being millennial?
I don't know. I mean, I don't honestly, the labels of millennial, baby boomers, Gen X, it doesn't necessarily impact my lives.
No.
Unless some old fart saying, you fucking millennial, you stupid piece of shit. Like, it doesn't ever necessarily cross my mind. But I just think it's interesting that I think a large chunk of what I talk about is media, movies,
Yeah.
TV shows, and so, because it's just like, I mean,
It's something everyone else has made, and you're consuming it. Do you ever
Well,
think-
it's also more open and out there and more accessible than ever before.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And so it's becoming a bigger part of
Well, like,
how we define ourselves as
for-
a people
For example, Blake, how much do you talk about baseball and like
every day.
other sports?
Every day.
So you really,
Nice.
you think you bring that into conversation and either
With my bosses that I work
Uh-huh.
with for 10 to 12 hours a day when
Sure.
I go home and talk to my little brother and my dad.
okay,
Yeah, sports is
Okay.
huge.
all right, and so I mean, I guess it's just kind of the again the product of the environment where your sports, movies, I'm media, video games, whatever, and I mean I'm not saying you're not video games or I mean,
I'm really not.
well, I mean, but you're part of that world,
Sure.
maybe
Kind of.
however
When I hang out with you, yeah, I am.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, we jammed out. I need to get Rock Band back here because
Yeah.
I fucking miss playing Rock Band. That was some good shit.
I have a drum set at home if you want to, because I never
like a
play
real
it.
drum set.
No, like the Rock Band drum set.
Why not a real drum set? You play guitar, Blake. You're just so amazing. So why not just jump on to the
You want
next
to know
thing?
why? Because in the second or third grade, I would do this thing with my pencils in class, and I
Yeah.
would just constantly drum.
Yeah.
And then my mom went to this pawn shop and bought like a 3-piece drum set for like $99,
Oh.
and had a big crash,
Yeah.
one tom, and another really like mediocre tom.
Sure.
And she thought that would let me musically,
Sure.
play the drums. But what I wanted was a drum set that I could play songs on. And so I tried to play in third grade. I tried to play AC/DC songs, but
Yeah.
I didn't have a hi-hat.
Yeah.
So it just went instead of
Yeah.
And so I think with the guitar it was just easier because I didn't need anything else to
Mhm.
play the songs that I wanted to play
That's true.
because the guitar's there.
It was
I don't
just
need
all
to add
in
anything,
one. Yeah.
unless it was some
You need a capo or
Avenged,
something.
yeah, or Avenged Sevenfold where there's no
Oh,
choice,
yes.
but I have to have an electric guitar to jam out to Avenged Sevenfold. Or
Really?
whatever.
You can't have an acoustic guitar?
Look up Backcountry and tell me if you think that's acoustic level.
Yeah, sure, I will. And I'll tell you it is. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
just going to fight you on it.
Okay.
I'll just...
But like, yeah. So that's the thing with the drums is I didn't get to have the drum experience where it was you can play whatever you want. It was very limited to, 3 things.
That's true. Well, it was an interesting anecdote. I appreciate it, Blake. I always appreciate your zany stories and everything. But it's instead of saying fucking annoying and stupid as hell, never bring that up ever again.
You
Just
can
say
tell me that anyone else.
zany. No, I'm gonna say zany. I think it's a little nicer. But yeah, so that is the end of the One More Podcast. I know it was a little shorter. I know our diehard fans are expecting those 3-hour long podcasts, but again, with the really shitty
At what
hour
point
of-
is anyone to like listen to 3 hours straight?
I mean, okay, look, honestly, I don't know why people say, oh, it's blah, 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 because I had a friend who said people don't have the attention for it. And I mean, I get it. You get a busy life. You're doing shit. But for me, it's like I get in my car, turn on a podcast. Okay,
Yep.
The drive is like 30 to 40 minutes. Then I get to work, and I'm still listening to the podcast. And then I'm working, and I'm listening to the podcast. And I get there are people who can't necessarily listen to music or listen to the podcast while working. But it's like, it's nice. And I've always, and I don't know how far you can break this down psychologically, but I've always appreciated having kind of a group, being in a group setting where you're around people. Even if I'm not actively participating in the conversation, even if I'm not actively being engaged myself, I love it. And
Just
Yeah,
people.
you're introverted.
what do you mean I'm introverted? You mean I'm
Yeah.
extroverted?
I mean, yeah, sorry, you're extroverted.
Thank
Do
you.
we have to go back to when you said have the headphone in the pocket bit where
What? Oh, okay. Well, that's different. That's a different case because I might be listening.
you're openly trying not to communicate with people
Right.
because you've got your own thing. But
Right,
if you're
because
in a
I'm
group
doing-
setting with like a group of my friends, you only know
Right.
two of them. That's still fun for you because
Yeah.
it's a group setting.
I'm not going to be like, ugh, because my mindset is saying we're in a social setting now. I'm all for it. But again, to recap our conversation last time, when I'm going from my business leadership building to the science building, I don't want some mother lover to just be like, hey, do you want to buy a book about popes or monks? Do you want to buy a monk book or whatever other thing that was going on campus?
What?
So we'll explain that to you in a second, Aaron. But yeah, so I don't know. I always found that long podcasts are cool. So and it's just with me, the content, if it's only 20 minutes, I want more. And I mean, I get it, and that's probably the appeal. It's like, oh, I'm going to keep listening because it's it's a short burst of goodness. Whereas this is a long draw. You're going to get it takes us 2.5 hours to do what 20 minutes does. So I don't know. I just it's more convenient for me, and I guess I get it, but I always think if I'm only going to listen 30 minutes in the car, well then I've got 30 minutes in the car back. So I don't know.
I'm with you there, yeah, because I'll just turn on Joe Rogan's podcast or Adam Carolla's podcast, or if I want to get political, I'll turn on that podcast or whatever, and I can just sit there and be by myself and work for however long that podcast is. But I prefer podcasts that are like 3 hours. Yeah, just because it's easier to pay attention.
That's true.
Your mind doesn't skip as much when you're video to video to video to video to
right,
video.
that's true because, and especially I think, especially with the 20 minutes, it's more condensed. It's like you're gonna have to.
It's a lot of info really quick, as opposed to giving yourself time to process.
Exactly. And I really like that point. It's just because when I'm in 20 minutes, I have to listen and focus to 20 minutes. I can't just do other things in life. And not to say that the content for longer podcasts is like more trivial and less, brain intensive, but it's definitely easier to space that out, and you can just act as if it's just a natural conversation right next to you. So,
did you get that from your dad?
What?
Just like that, because my dad would listen to 1310 The Ticket, the sports radio station, and he would just let that run through the house for the whole day whenever he was working. And that's kind of how I am now. I'll just turn on the sports radio station and that'll take me through the whole rest of my work day.
Probably not necessarily directly kind of like live radio, but it was more audiobooks. I definitely have memories where my dad is in his room and he's playing whatever loud over the speaker or whatever. It's just an audiobook, and so he'll be doing his own shit and I'll just be listening to it. And I don't know, I guess that stems from me being an auditory. I'm more hands-on and auditory versus visual and reading. So I don't know, and I guess you're kind of right. It does stem sort of from growing up. What about you?
You want
Aaron?
to talk about how reading textbooks is just so tedious?
It is very tedious.
No, it's awesome.
What do you really?
You like reading textbooks?
You being funny?
No.
Being funny boy?
I'd prefer to read textbooks than stare at an iPad for 6 hours.
No, I don't think what he was. I don't think he was
talking about. That's like the same concept. It's
okay,
like,
well,
if you're talking about audio versus.
Oh no, I can't focus. I can't focus when it's over an audiobook. Like I can't do that.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I definitely prefer it.
When I'm reading, every word is important for what they're saying.
Okay.
And if I miss something or I blank out or I'm sending a text or whatever, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Well, then
I've got 10 seconds.
I've actually there's something that I want you to try, and because excuse me for being a horrible person, but so you grad. Ugh, I can't talk. So I know you have your associates, correct? Mm-hmm. You're still in school or no? No. Okay. Well, then we're gonna try an experiment after this. So the experiment, not necessarily now, but down the line. Something that I discovered, and thank God I discovered it earlier rather than later, was you can kind of trick your brain into doing multiple things at once, whether it likes it or not. So you do auditory. I mean, and if you have a problem with just audiobooks in general, then it might not be as effective. But for me, if I'm listening to an audiobook and I'm just sitting there and listening, I'm fine. I can retain the information. It's as if it's a lecture, someone's talking, I can retain it. Something that I learned though, Because man, that's really fucking boring to just sit like an idiot and just listen to a audiobook. But what I learned is if you're playing a very, very trivial game, for example, at the time I was playing like Halo. Okay, so you play Halo, volume down all the way. If your hands are doing something, you kind of split your brain where you can listen, pay attention to the actual information being fed, where if you're doing something that's second nature, then you can pick up on it and still remember all the information. So like playing baseball, I don't know if this example would necessarily help because it's, again, working different functions of your brain and using different body muscles. But playing baseball, if you had some guy next to you saying, hey, Blake, blah, 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 and all you were doing, you were just at the batting cages or something like that, and you're just hitting balls, you think that might potentially help, or do you think you divert more?
I don't know. It depends if it was a game or a practice setting. Because when you're in a game,
that's true. You have to think.
You don't hear shit. Like you don't hear anything. You're so focused and dialed in that
that's true.
You don't even hear your mom saying "Go Blake" or your dad saying, "Do a good job" or whatever.
Blake, I love you. I've always cared about you.
Yeah, no, you don't. Have you met my dad? It's just completely phased out.
Well, then, so like if you're at the batting cages, theoretically, if you just had a fun couple hours at the batting cages and then you paid $10 or whatever, or I don't know the rates of what the batting cages are nowadays, but
I go for free, but yeah.
Oh, sure, okay. So you go to the batting cages, you listen to your headphones, put in an audiobook, and then or whatever textbook, whatever, and then you're just hitting it, and that's it. So all you're doing is you just know that you need to swing. You can kind of time it, but again, your attention can be diverted. Yeah, exactly. Split.
Well, with baseball, I guess this is just me being nitpicky, I
Sure.
guess. But with baseball, when you're at the plate, the worst thing you can do is just take, routine cuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every swing needs to be quality over quantity.
Sure.
And
No,
so
and
every swing after you swing, you need to check your stance, make sure everything's looking all right. You need to maybe, after 5 or 10 swings, look at the video of yourself and make sure that you're doing whatever you need to do.
No, I understand. And I mean, that makes sense to an extent because I guess playing video games and stuff, it's more muscle memory and you're just kind of, you can zone out and play
You're
it.
doing a puzzle because I like doing puzzles. So,
Really? That's weird. I hate puzzles.
You do?
Like puzzle pieces or whatever, like making a picture out of like the 5,000 jigsaw BS.
What if I played an audiobook while I was reading a different book?
I don't think you
that's
can do
an
that.
experiment.
That'd be weird.
What if you play an audiobook while reading a book while taking notes on a separate book?
I don't know.
Whoa! And on that mind bender, we're going to close the podcast. Does anyone have any closing remarks, anything, life advice, anything like that?
Read a book a month.
Yep.
A month?
Or listen.
That's too fast. I need like a half a year. Do you know how long it took me to finish Ready Player One?
Right? Like a good book.
Is a really good book.
It's really the effort.
Blake, I'm going to have to show you something after this. I'm so excited for the movie.
Is it the trailer for the movie? Because I've already seen the trailer.
Well, yeah, but did you catch the thing in the trailer? There's a
Which
thing.
thing?
There's a thing, and I'll show you. If you don't know the thing that I'm talking about, then you haven't caught it.
Okay.
But Aaron, what were you saying?
No, I mean, it's really the effort, since you put in the effort to read.
That's true.
It's just, some people need a time frame.
It's like going to the gym.
Like,
Just
really,
gotta do
it could be
I
close.
hate the gym.
It really should be close
The gym
to like
hates me.
a week. Or 2
Finish a
weeks.
book a week?
Or 2 weeks.
Finish a book in a week?
Nah.
No,
I can't do that.
No, did you ever meet my friend Daniel Dickerson?
No.
He read a book
His name was
A
Daniel
day.
Dickerson.
a day. He read
Like a short story?
No,
I
like
could read a short story in a
an
day.
entire Harry Potter book in a school day.
Really?
All the extra time. He
Yeah,
was
that's too
so
much.
focused. He had ADD, but he could focus it so we could look at both pages.
So he was on the
looked at
spectrum?
both
Speed
pages
reader.
at once.
He's a speed reader.
He was on the spectrum then?
Probably. He looked at both pages at once, dude.
That sounds like something
Like
you'd be
Matt
on the
Damon
spectrum.
and Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Just
Well, Matt Damon was definitely on the spectrum. That's for sure.
still is.
It still is. Well, I don't know. I think the best principle is just, you're right, just have kind of a
To have the goal.
schedule and a goal, right? And like read every night, a little bit every night. But anyways, any other piece of advice?
Speaking of, I'm not going to read my book tonight.
Why?
I'm gonna watch a movie instead.
Why?
Because I'm gonna watch a movie instead.
But reading is better. It's more healthy. It doesn't kill your brain
Yeah,
like Tylenol
but-
does. And full circle! So as I do like to close off the podcast with a quick lightning round, answer the question. Don't explain it. Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Fucking Joker.
Did you listen to what I asked, Aaron?
Why not throw in Jack Nicholson or Mark Hamill? The
That's
animated
true.
voice.
Okay, well,
Mm.
okay. Which is your favorite Joker? Go. Go. No, you're right. No, that changes it up. That changes my answer. That's for sure. Favorite Joker.
Mark
Go.
Hamill.
Aaron.
Okay, the one in the Dark Knight where he died.
That's
during
Heath
the role.
Ledger.
He died during the role.
Yeah.
which
That's
was
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Ridiculous.
That's Heath Ledger.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Though.
Well, he ate
Overdosed on
food
Tylenol.
and Tylenol.
Told you it was Tylenol.
Yep. And my answer is Mark Hamill. And that wraps it up for the One More podcast. I really appreciate everyone.
What a stupid name.
What? Mark Hamill?
That's Luke Skywalker, dude. Pay some respect.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Okay. Thanks for being insulting, Aaron. Appreciate it, everyone. Hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you guys, I guess, the next episode in a couple of days, maybe, depending on when things are getting released.
Hey everybody, it is the end of the show. I know, very sad, but don't worry, there's going to be another episode. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give all this up just randomly for no reason. I probably won't do that. I've got a schedule to do. But anyways, just wanted to give another shout out to our sponsor today, Haven Cottage Investments. All right, these people know what they're doing. Sabrina Parker, she is a financial genius. All right, with flipping homes, managing homes, anything that has to do with securing your financial future, she's got you covered. So definitely give her a call, give her an email, 469-450-8855, or at havencottageinvestments@gmail.com. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. And remember, if you mention the podcast, again, you're going to get half off her commission rate. So it's like, why not? Because, look, young people need to move out of their houses and they're going to need help. So give her a call. But anyways, just again, wanted to give another shout out. I really appreciate it. They're supporting me so that I can do what I want to do. And it's awesome. So again, her phone number is 469-450-8855, or contact her at havencottageinvestments@gmail.com. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night, day, evening, whenever you guys are going to listen to the podcast. It's all good.